Howdy ho! Happy Monday. I need to start. Hi everybody. Happy Monday. What's today's date? What's today? 6th. It's the 6th. So if you're wondering what today's costume is, it's a little bit of a creative one. You've got to stretch your mind a little bit for it. But if you remember the Paris Olympics, which is this emblem here, geometric shape. I don't want to mess up the name of it, so I'm not going to say it. But there was a new category introduced to the Olympics in 2000. Was that 24? I don't know, but I was in Paris. I was in Paris during the Olympics. It was awesome. But then I was at like a chateau once things got started. So, anyways, the break dancing category involved dancers, and it's the Olympics, so usually that's like the best of the best. But for whatever reason, racism, privilege, they got someone on the team that literally had zero skill. Everybody is kind of saying like maybe she studied, she read about it, right? Like, you know, you read about being a surgeon, you're really going to trust that surgeon to work on you even if they haven't had any practice. It seems as if nobody ever even asked her to try to dance in front of them. She just showed up to the Olympics or whatever. So my theory is, and honestly, this is like, I have these theories, but I also have like other knowledge, right? So like there's actually someone dead over this, and this costume is paying respect to that person because jealousy is real. People believe they can destiny swap. They believe that all they have to do is take one person out, whether that be, you know, emotionally, physically, whatever, and then they can take on the things that they were going to receive. And it is like the butterfly effect. Yesterday I talked a little bit about like reversing energy and like return to senders when people are sending negative energy towards you, or when you're picking up on it and you don't really know where it's coming from. Yeah, I just got blanked out on that. I have to go back to what I was saying. I'm getting blanked out on that. What was I saying? Oh my gosh. Well, interference is real. Whether that be, oh yes, I was talking about the butterfly effect. Okay, so the butterfly effect, and you know, this also has to do with like the Mandela effect, which is like actually a systematic programming involving technology, just to get people to, you know, have light psychosis and not believe their own thoughts, which is mind control. But yeah, basically, when some people can kind of see a little bit further other timelines, whether that be present, future, past, whatever, right? Everybody has Akashic records, which is the information of the universe stored inside of your body. Whether that be, like I said, from the past, the present, the future, everyone that you've connected with and those people that they connected with. So you really have like a world's worth of knowledge in your mind, like world history, galactic history, but it's like something you have to tap into, and it is related to the past lives or connections that you've had. And when I say past lives, I'm talking Stardust. Okay? So yeah, basically, when certain, I'll just say entities because I don't want to give any respect to these energies, but when these entities can pick up on someone's success, they can pick up on the progression. Maybe they can see, like, you know, like I said, I don't want to get woo-woo because this isn't like something I have a lot of experience in, but there are people that can see the future, right? That's why we have psychics. That's why we have people that, you know, literally get paid to do this when they work for the CIA or any other intelligence agency. We've had people do astral projections and things to other planets, and this is like documented, right? So when people see these things, like they see like, oh, there's going to be a new category, right? There's going to be a new category. It's the Australian team is going to have like some big break, right? Like it's going to be major. And somebody on that team was supposed to be the reason why they were going to have that success, right? When someone catches on to that information and they say, oh, okay, I can see that this is going to happen. So who can I take out just to be a part of it, right? It's a clout chasing groupie thing, right? They don't have the skill, but they know if they can just associate themselves with the people that are in those positions, then they get to reap the benefits of that situation, right? That's why, clout chasing, gold digging, all of that stuff is it's destructive to the whole structure, because you're not lining up with your destiny, which is setting everything else off in a bad way, right? If you're doing something to help someone, again, that's kind of like that ableism thing, where it's like if somebody's not asking you to do these crazy things for them, like let's say their goal is to be like a CEO of a company, and you just hand it to them, and then they fail because they didn't have to work to get there, right? Like they could have worked to get there and been successful, but because they didn't get to do all the things to get to that spot, you actually ended up hurting them, right? So even if it's something that somebody wants, sometimes you do have to just allow these things to happen. But in terms of the Olympics, in the breakdancing category for the Australian team, there was someone that was supposed to bring a different kind of attention to that breakdancing category for that country. And I used to live in Australia. I have Australian address. I don't want to say what else because taxes and shit, but you know what I mean, right? So like basically, like my heart is in Australia. I felt when I was there, like I had actually seen, like in my mind, exactly where I was when I got to Australia. I didn't have any plans. Had never been to Australia. I didn't know anything, and I was kind of dumb. I'm not gonna lie. I had a job because that's how I got allowed to go. I was on a teaching visa, and so I just like Airbnb'd. I was like, well, obviously I'm not gonna stay in a hotel because I want to have somewhere to go. So I tried to look for an Airbnb that I could stay in for like a month or two, so I could like figure out like where I wanted to be and all of that, right? So I just went through and I found this Airbnb, and it was such a nice apartment. It was like all modern and like all this stuff, and I was like, oh, like that, and it was cheap as fuck, right? Because like US dollar is way the exchange rate for US dollar, I think it was like 75 cents or something to the US dollar at the time. And so I was like, oh, this is like perfect, and it was nice regardless. Like even if it hadn't been expensive, it was nice. So I was just like, hell yeah. So I picked it because I liked the way it looked on the inside. I never looked at the address. All I knew is that I wanted to be in Melbourne because that's where I was going to be working, but I knew that I was going to be traveling around because that's what substitutes do, right? They're just all over the place. So when I land, I have to pick up my rental car. And when you're doing something, you don't want people to know you're not very experienced at it. This happens a lot in my life. The first time I ever changed a diaper was when I was getting hired, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you did that perfectly," and I was like, "Really?" So I'm going to pick up the car. I don't want them to know that I've never driven on the opposite side of the road because I didn't want them to be like, "No, no, no." So I had to start the car, like drive off, like park behind the building, and just like breathe. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to get on the freeway, and I don't know where I am. And I'm like, I was right at the airport, so you know how that areas are. It was congested. I was like, oh, I just hope that I don't end up on the wrong side of the road somewhere. Thankfully, driving on the opposite side is not hard. But the only thing that gets kind of weird is when you're turning, because you have that sensation to just be like, different angles and how you approach them from the opposite side. I forget why I was saying all that once again. Basically, Australia has my heart. Oh, yeah. Look at me bouncing all over the place. So basically, when I get to Australia, I get to my place, and I didn't know anything about my place, right? So I got there, I was like, oh, this is pretty nice. It wasn't in like the best neighborhood. Like I remember when I got there, I was like, oh, like I drove through like obviously like the city and stuff, so I was like expecting the area to be like that, and it wasn't bad. Like it was just like a beach town, right? And I had no idea at this point. Now, mind you, I didn't even look at a map. That's how ridiculous I was when I did not even look at a map. I just saw the address, saw how much it cost, saw that I liked it, and I was like, it's good enough. So I'm like, okay, this is not the city, like, what's going on? And like, I'm like, whatever, like, I just need to go in. I've been traveling, I'm gonna just put my stuff down. And so I go inside, and I'm like sitting for like an hour or two, just like taking it in. And then I'm like, well, I'm here, like, I should at least go walk around. So I walk outside. This is crazy. So I walk outside, and I'm walking kind of like a weird loop. It's so beautiful at this point because there's I was in St. Kilda, if you know where that is, but basically it's just like a lot of kind of like boardwalky, like a lot of the streets are closed and it's just like shops and stuff and like little bars and little like speakeasies, and it's just amazing. I freaking love it. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna so I'm walking, I'm just like, oh, this is kind of cool actually. Like, it was warm. I was like, this is perfect. Like, I felt like I was on vacation at that point because I was just like, yeah, this is different. And as I'm walking, I turn the corner and I kid you not, there's a fucking beach. And not just any beach, but there's a beach with a freaking amusement park of like a Ferris wheel, roller coasters, all that shit. And I had no idea. Now, if you know me, I've talked about this. I love the beach. It's like I have to be next to the water, whether that's, basically I need to be next to water. It could be a lake, it could be the ocean, I don't know, a pond. That's really big, probably not a pond. But yeah. So as I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like such a great find. I had no idea. So at that point, my socks were blown because I was like, I don't need anything else. This is everything I wanted. Like, I'm gonna stay in this area. And so I start walking to go into the beach. There's like a bunch of grass and like palm trees and stuff, and then you get to the beach or like the beach boardwalk. And so I'm walking and I get to these corners and I turn my head and I kid you not, the exact moment that I had turned my head was an image that I had saw in my head. There was nothing in the background. There was no sign of architecture or anything, but it was like the grass, the way the hill was rolling over with the grass, there was like trees here and even the shapes of the tree, like everything exactly. And it was just a flash of a picture in my head. So at the time when I saw it, which was like, I don't even remember seeing it at this point. Maybe it was like a year, like 6 months, I don't know. It was definitely before I even knew I was moving to Australia, for sure. And so at that point, I'm just like, holy shit. Like, that was one of the first times that I had like confirmation that like some shit was really going on, because I was like, there is no way. And now mind you, this was after when I landed and I walked around, I was like, this place just feels right. So like, I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know where the beach was. I didn't know anything, and I still ended up in that spot. Fucking crazy. So yeah, I love Australia. If you get a chance to go, or if you've ever been, I lived in St. Kilda, right next to the yacht club, literally like a block or two away, where the tram is, which was like perfect for me because public transportation in other countries is like fire, and yeah, it was just amazing. I respect Australia. I respect Australia. I respect the Olympics. I respect hard work. I respect people that do the right thing, whether that be the person that actually shows up or the people that enable that sort of representation. Because let's be honest, like, that is so disrespectful to the Olympics, to the people that work hard, to the people that should have been there, and to the person who was removed because of fucked up situations. So yeah, I don't want to be sad. Let's keep it positive. That energy is going to come back in better ways. But out of respect for my second home, my second country, and just, I don't know. Some things just like, yeah. Anyways, it's Monday, so you guys know my Monday schedule. Although I got my nails done, I always get my nails done like the first week of the month and then like halfway through. But I get my pedicure once a month because my nails on my feet don't like grow fast, so it's fine. And I get shellac so it doesn't chip. But when I came home after getting my nails done, I looked down at my foot and there's a fucking bubble inside of my nail polish, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I go to push it down and the whole thing like pops, so it looks like a deflated balloon on my freaking toenail. But then I got too distracted on Saturday, and I was like, okay, like, by the time I realized what time it was, they were going to be closed in like 15 minutes, and I was like, I'll just do it tomorrow. And then today is actually Sunday, yesterday was Sunday, so they weren't open. So I need to go back to the nail salon and get my nails fixed. But it's like also my thumb chipped, this chipped, this chipped. And I go to the same nail salon every time and I never have any issues. So I don't know what the fuck happened. They were super busy. It was kind of awkward. It was like, I made an appointment, came in, I think it was like 2. There was one other person there and they were getting a pedicure, right? So it was fine. And then while I'm getting my pedicure, 2 more people walk in. It's like a girl and her boyfriend, and they're like walk-ins, right? So they're like, oh, do you have any time? And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. So then they go and sit in the other 2. So now we got 4 people sitting getting pedicures, right? And then I get like 5 minutes later, which is like, you should have known, like 5 minutes later, these 2 clearly gonna be Karens came in and they're like, oh, we have an appointment. And they came like 4 or 5 minutes early, right? So like, you know, they can tell. But what they didn't know was that those people had just sat down. I mean, I don't even think their water was all the way full. So like now you can see them like scrambling because there's like us 4, and then yeah, I feel like, yeah, I think maybe they only had 4 people working, or yeah. So then I'm done like getting finished with my pedicure, but I'm getting a manicure. Normally like they'll do both at the same time if they're not too busy. But yeah, so they were like, you could tell they were like rattled, and like the whole energy like shifted. They were moving fast, and I was like, I don't want to like, you know, stress them out. And I like started switching my nails over from white to black, because I always like do my nails based off of the seasons, and I just like, white is good for summer, and black I think works for October and all. So I got a little more than I usually do, and I asked for one nail to be pointy and then the rest to be square, just so it'd be a little different. And I guess they were expecting me to get what I always get, because like I said, I always get white, and I get like a pearl. Like I like it to look like pearls. So that's what I got. But I was like, oh, I want to switch it to this and to that, and like you could tell she was like, no, like she was about to throw up, and I'm like, bro, like I don't. At the end of the day, I can't compromise on that. Like I seriously just want to have what I asked for. But yeah, so now they're like all chipped. And it's only been like 2 days. So I'm going to go back and be like, bro, what the fuck? Hopefully it's not super busy. What else? It's sunny today. It's a fucking super moon tonight. I don't know if you guys are aware. Super moons. So there are people have different ways to interpret the moon, its cycles and its purposes, like based off of the culture, based off of the science and all of that. I find that regardless of the stage of the moon, whether it's a new moon or a full moon, that the energy that is being projected is something that can be harnessed. So some people, they'll say like, oh, the full moon is for shedding things. Like that energy helps remove things that you don't want, which is true. But if it's got the power to, you know, because think about water and like the force, like the pull on the planet. So like, if the moon can pull things out of you, because like think of like a magnetic pull, right? It's pulling you in or pulling it out. Then why can't something coming out of someone else come into you, like water, right? Because there are people out there that are releasing things that you want or that you desire or that will help you receive what you want. Like maybe there's someone that's like, I need to be more compassionate because I'm too strict. And then there's someone else that's like, I don't want to get ran over, I need to feel more confident, right? So like those two people they could exchange energies, right? And that's a whole other. We won't get into it. I don't know why I'm being so philosophical on a Monday. It must be the moon. Yeah. Monday moon magic. Ooh, should I call my stream that? Monday moon magic. I think this might be the last super moon of the year. it might be the last one or it's the biggest one, or both. I haven't been following astrology, or cosmology, I should say. I've been following cosmology in a very long time because my degree is so diverse. Like I have a philosophy focus, a cosmology focus, and a consciousness focus. So I feel like every time I try to just focus on one, it kind of engulfs me. And if I try to focus on all of them, then I get kind of scattered but with that being said, once I do learn a lot about a topic or get updated on a topic, I'm able to connect that information into other areas, right? Because like that's how things are built. That's how things grow. Like the wheel, the wheel was developed. It could be used for a car, but it could be used for clocks. It could be used, to whatever, right? So the wheel is one invention that somebody made, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it can only have one purpose. So knowledge that you have from one area could help you to apply it to another. Just like when people use analogies. Analogies is a perfect way to describe that. Having the ability to cross-reference the similarities and differences between two subjects in order to convey a message or solve a problem on every level. So the more areas you have knowledge of, like maybe construction, like marine, maritime, or like a veterinarian, right? If you could gather all of the information from all those people, you could probably be the best problem solver. You could see everything from such a vantage point. And I believe that's what like the best healers and leaders in the world do. They have the ability not only to zoom out and see the bigger picture, but they also understand the inner workings enough to find solutions. Oh gosh. You hear my hip hop. Yo ho, pirate's life for me. It's kind of sad I lost a follower. I was really excited because I finally got more than 100, which I know is probably not a number to be proud of, but literally nobody I know knows about my Twitch account because I got haters and it's not worth it. But being organically grown from some bullshit I needed to do for myself into anybody even watching anything I do is a pretty nice feeling for me. It gives me validation that I'm not, that I'm helping someone in some way. Maybe it's just to laugh at me, or maybe you get like a little nugget every now and then. It's nice because it feels reciprocal, even if you're, whatever. The point is, I lost a follower, and it was at 100, and now I'm at 99. But I gotta be grateful because I think I was at like 80 for a really long time. My thing is too, like I have people that like come into my stream and they like won't talk, or like they come in and it's like there'll be like 10 people or like 5 people in the room all at once, and I have no idea, and then I look up and I'm like, oh shit, like I wasn't really interacting, and then I try to like do something different, and all of a sudden the numbers aren't there. And I don't mean like immediately after, like it's not like, oh, I don't like that, but it's just like by the time the stream is over, I'm not able to make affiliate because I didn't have enough people consistently watching the entire stream. So yeah, I am grateful that people tune in, especially the ones that stay for, longer than 5 minutes. But I need to get a way to gather longer viewers, because the more viewers doesn't necessarily matter, it's how long they watch. Like I get the amount of viewers perfect, way more than I need. It's just the amount of time. Which, to be fair, if I was lazy and a cheater, all I would have to do is open up my device, open up the stream on like 5 different devices every time, and then I would make affiliate just off of that. But I want to do it the right way. Okay. Anyways, y'all, what's your plan for the moon? I feel like I haven't been doing like any moon work. And by moon work, I mean like working with the cycles of the moon. I don't know. It's not that I don't want to, it's just there's so much else. There's so many other things going on and things that I don't understand that I don't want to like, I don't want to say mess things out, but I don't want to like delay or like muddy the waters. Do you like my medal though? I literally like right before the stream started, I went to put the medal on and it was like a track medal, had like a cleat with wings. So I was like, oh, that's not gonna look right. Like, I need to pay my respects to the Olympics and that Olympic dancer that will never get their credit. At least not in the way they should. Oh. Oh, sorry, little bean. I'm sorry. Okay, that was good. I don't know how many that was, but I can feel it in my legs. Let's do 2. Did I do that? I can't remember how I did this before. I think it was like, is that how it goes? I think that's how it goes. So I've been working on my hip flexors. I feel like my handstand's a lot more stable, but I'm still getting out of that like loosey-goosey mode where my core kind of starts to weaken, which is so unlike me. My core is usually the thing that's the most stable. What I think it is my back. My back wants to do that banana thing. So that offsets my stomach's ability to like hone everything in. That's my theory. I didn't do enough of these, but it started hurting. Oh, okay. Better than not. I'm not. Stop doing those ones. Now, okay, so what's happening next? Yeah. So this is another hump day on Wednesday. It'll technically be the first. Well, actually, no. I think I said that I was having trouble doing hump day stream-wise because of the cameras and how to like set everything up so people can't see. Huh. I don't know, man. I gotta get it to work, but like I have to go to the gym. Like it's not an option anymore. Like I don't know. It's just my legs can't stay like this. I can't. This is like one of the things I always tell people is like the moment you notice something you don't like about your body, you gotta tackle it, because people get comfortable and then it starts to build, and then the next thing you know they've got like a pot belly, and it's like all you had to do was like 10 crunches a day and you would have been able to maintain where you were, but because you didn't do anything, now you've got worse problems. So yeah, I need to go to the gym. My legs are weak, ass is flabby, I've got cottage cheese, and that's not okay with me. There's no reason for that. I thought my bike would be helping me too with my legs, and it helped with my quads, but that's it, which I already knew. My quads used to be like, because I used to ride my bike so much. I knew that was gonna happen. I just figured, I hoped that the rest of my legs would do something too, but that was not the case. I'll turn this way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just like doing the dog fire hydrant thing. I'm doing 10 on each side. Also keep your hips square. Okay. Switching sides. Hips square. I feel like it's this elevated portion. It's still about a half inch. So anytime you have like a noticeable difference in your stance, try your best to make it flat. Like obviously if you're like in the grass or something when you're stretching, you can't control it like that, but if you notice it and you can correct it, that alignment piece is going to be that much better. Okay, that was 10. Should I take a break from these, move to something else, and then come back? Yeah, because my quads and my hip flexors kind of feel a little tight. So what's an exercise I can do that will not use my quads or my hip flexors, but is still on the ground? So if you're wondering what this is, I'm literally just going downward dog. Right? Everything is cracking, which means I'm moving stuff that needs to move. I do need to take off this metal though. Just because it's kind of in the way. Not a ton, but a little. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to use these blocks again. Last one. I'm going to just pulsate my knee up and down here. I'm not actually doing a full lunge. I am using my hands as support, but I'm tapping my knee as I do this. I've just been noticing, like, just because I went to the gym that one time, and that's why I was like, oh, I need to go way more. But I just noticed, like, parts of my body and my muscles and stuff that I wasn't activating. So even just doing these movements, I can feel it, like, in my hamstring. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's activating it enough for me to recognize it in my brain. And then once I recognize it in my brain, I can focus on that when I want to do an exercise. But it's like, if you're supposed to be focusing on your hands while you're doing a downward dog, but you're focusing on your hips, you might not even notice your hands, right? So that's kind of how it is with me. And my legs, I think, this way. Damn. Also, I do have a degree in human development, so I know you're probably like, why do you feel like you can talk about it? That's what my actual first degree is in. So I had to work on dead bodies and everything. The good news is it doesn't feel like a real person at that point. I remember I had to like work on a brain, and it was literally like the shape of the box that it was in. I was like, okay. Ugh. The sound effects are necessary, okay? Don't judge me. It's like when those bodybuilders go to the gym and they're like, whoa, as they lift. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but I don't know. Maybe that's what it's like. I wouldn't know. I'm not a bodybuilder. I will say though, when I was in high school, the teacher, the home ec teacher, which is the kind of teacher I am, like, she was a bodybuilder. And she did not look like it at all. Like, when I tell you, she was like the most hippy dippy. Like, we were like, bitch, can we have anything that's not organic? Because that was before organic stuff. And she was hella smart, but we were like, she's crazy. Like, give us Doritos, you know? She's like, you need to eat. Like, she like brought us like really expensive lemonade. And I remember, like, we were all like, this is disgusting. And then, like, years later, I bought that lemonade. It was fire. And I was like, damn, we dragged her. But yeah, she was a bodybuilder. And she did not look like it. But she had a picture of herself from when she was a bodybuilder on her desk. And it was kind of like, yeah, I'm going to let you guys know. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because I might not look like it. But... Oh my goodness. That was the first time I ever saw somebody get pushed by Chi. Also, that was kind of cool. She was into some hippie shit back then. I was not on that level, bruh. Oh, no, if I had a known. But yeah, she had some guy, I think it might have been like her husband or like somebody she was close to, obviously. And he came in with all his like, woo, you know, what do they call it, woo-woo shit. And I don't remember what he's talking about. Like, he wanted to do a demonstration. He was like, any volunteers? And we were all just like, whatever, pick some kid. Fucking pushed him, man. He was nowhere near him. He was like at least 4 or 5 feet away, and he went like this, and he was like, oh, like it was crazy. She's also the first person that taught me about mercury in fillings and how the government wants us to slowly die from the toxins it emits, which is true, bruh. She's trying to teach us this when we're like 15. We're like, what the fuck? Hello, person. I don't know what you said, but I can see that you typed something. Thank you for engaging. Alright, I'm gonna go back and forth this way. I'll come up so you can see. I've got this leg straight in front of me, not out to the side. Alignment, and just kind of resting here for a second to make sure it's comfortable before I go to the left side. And then back over. I always feel like I'm doing like a little bit of a crawl. Like it's not as much as a glide, it's just like I'm just like, you know, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how it feels for you. It is getting a lot easier for me, obviously. If you saw me in the beginning of my streams, it's getting a lot easier to just kind of like keep my butt down completely. Like I feel like before I was like coming up and then down, but now I'm just like completely keeping it down. here, let my hips get a little bit of action, and then I'll go back into those leg exercises that I was doing. What's the time? Still got 20 minutes, it's not bad. Yeah, it feels like summer today. Like, it's crazy, like how much the sun changes the vibe. I'm just like, oh, life, sun. I think that, yeah, I don't know. Mondays are always really busy for me. I slipped off my own leg. Okay, so here, I'm gonna come here. So we already did this one, and we already did this one. So now I'm gonna go up and over, like a circle. I hope it looks like a circle. When I do this, because sometimes it feels like, am I doing it in a circle? At least for me, because I have vertigo. So certain ways my body moves like makes me dizzy even though it shouldn't. So when I focus on my knee making a circle instead of my whole leg, it helps. So if you're having that problem, or if you just want to try. Oh, that feels good. Next side. Try to keep my hips square. Woo! This is like when you go to the chiropractor and they like move your legs for you. It's like the weirdest feeling because you can't move your legs without you moving your legs, right? Like your arm, you can grab your arm, you can grab your foot, but like to physically like move your leg around, you can't do it. When somebody else does it, it's like, ah. Okay. Which one was I going to do? Okay, I really want to do this one. Oh my gosh, after yesterday's stream, when I went to turn off the stream, I tried to like get up. If you saw it, I tried to like get up from my knees. I was like down for so long that I was like, ah. Oh my gosh, that was awful. I haven't had like a knee injury in my life, so that's good. I hope that never happens. You know? But switching sides. Left knee down. Right knee up. Oh, did I do that one already? I forgot to do that one on the other side. I'll do this one first and then I'll go back to the other side. You'll know I like to have my routines when it comes to mobility. And even just stretching too, because it's like, it helps you when you're like me and you get kind of off track or like sidetracked, and your body's just like, oh, I'm doing this next. But I really have been adding in new mobility exercises as I've been kind of growing, expanding, and then like kind of looking at what other people are doing on Insta and stuff like that. So I can't just stay in the same place. I have to keep growing. If you are at a spot right now, you're looking at me and you're like, that's too hard, I can't keep up. Keep that in mind. And this isn't my first day here. I do have a lot of my old VODs on YouTube. The only problem, which I'm like super sad about, is when I first started streaming, I had like no experience with streaming at all, or Twitch or anything. So a lot of my videos that I thought were saved got deleted because of the time constraint for them. And I didn't know, because I just thought, unless I delete them or unless the storage says it's full, that it'll be there. That's not true if you're someone that's looking to stream or you didn't know that. anyway, that's also how I learned that that you must click over to save your VOD before you actually start recording. Otherwise, when you close out of the recording or close out the stream, everything is deleted and you can't get it back. My very first real stream, because I was scared to get on camera in the beginning, my very first real stream was at the SZA concert. I was like 4th row, I think, but I was literally dead center, like the most dead center you could be. Best seats of my life, even better than Rihanna, because when I was at Rihanna, I was closer, but I was off to the left a little bit, so, anyways, I forgot what I was saying. Why was I saying that? See, I'm getting, like, so caught up without a routine, whatever. Nah, it's like the moment I start thinking about concerts, I'm like, oh, I have to just continue to think about the concert. Oh yes. That's exactly, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I was saying. Because I didn't know how to use Twitch, I recorded the entire thing. Never do this in my life, never done this in my life. I actually get annoyed a little bit when I see people with their cameras out, a lot, because it's like, I feel like as an artist, it would be hard for me to perform if everybody just had their cameras out and they weren't like really engaging. I've seen it happen, it's like awful. Especially as someone who's like, you know, I speak in front of like hundreds of people and like, it sucks when people don't interact the way that they appropriate for the situation. You know, there's like a time and a place to be like, ooh, and then there's a time and a place to like really help with it. You're part of the show when you come up, you're part of the show. Anyways, I recorded the whole thing because I was so proud, and I felt really bad for the people that couldn't go because the concert was really sold out, and then the tickets got really expensive, and people that love SZA probably more than me, which is, you know, they couldn't go. They couldn't get tickets. People were literally crying. Like, the tickets were like $1,000, and I had a plan to get my tickets at the last minute because they were so expensive. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go because I don't want to sit in the nosebleeds for $600. But if something pops up at the last minute, I won't go. And so I started seeing tickets at like 200. I was like, okay, it's going down. Like, this is like the day before. I'm like, okay, this isn't bad. It's still 200 for the nosebleeds, right? But I'm like, 200 to get in the building. I can walk around. I don't have to stay in my seat, right? So yeah, basically, I went right before. I want to say it was like maybe 3 or 4 hours before the show. I went to buy what I thought was going to be a nosebleed for the cheapest price, and I saw they had a front row, or it didn't even say front row. It was just a floor ticket, and the floor ticket was like $400 or some shit. And I was like, I am shitting on myself just for even getting on the floor for that much, like knowing that people were paying thousands. I was like, done. I just bought them. I didn't look, nothing. I was like, I just bought them. Brought my best friend from like elementary school, Michelle. She was on the stream before. What am I doing? I'm getting so tied up. There's one more thing I wanted to do. Oh yes. But yeah, so we are like getting ready for the show, and I just tell her, I'm like, again, I have not looked at my tickets. I don't know why, I just like don't care to look into the future. I'm just like, all right, this is great right now. Like, let me just take in this moment. So yeah, so we get there. I don't know why we didn't know, but we start walking. We're on the floor and we're walking, and they're like, no, your seat's down there. We're like, okay. So we keep walking, and they're like, no, your seat's up there. We're like, what? So we keep walking, and we're in the 4th row, and we're like, this is crazy. And then we start walking to our seats, and there's some girls in our seats, and we're like, oh, like maybe like something's wrong or whatever. So I was like, hey, like my ticket says that I'm here, like what's going on? And the girl's like, oh, sorry, like we're together, but our seats are separate. Is it okay if we sit here? And now I'm looking at my seat and I recognize that I'm dead center, and I was like, how disrespectful of you to even consider asking me to consider that. right? Like, why would I ever give up a dead center seat for some bitch I don't know, right? So yeah, basically, we were like, nah. And so they like scooted down, like she like went and sat on the other side or whatever. I guess her plan was to do the same thing to the next person, right? Come to find out, when the concert actually starts, tell me why none of these bitches had seats in that row. And they were hoping, that somebody was going to not show up to the fourth row of the SZA concert where tickets were in the that size. Make it make sense. Like, what did you think, bitch? What did you think? That, yo, you know what? Of all the rows that are gonna be empty, fourth row that's where it is? Really? Really? So yeah, that's basically what happened. And they like slowly got kicked down the road too, because they started over in the middle, and then they went to my right, and then they came back over, and they were over on the left, and then like, I just remember, so I could hear somebody like speaking loud, and I looked, and it was those girls, and they were like walking away, and people were just like shaking their heads, like, you dumb bitch. But yeah, that's my SZA story. Lost all of my content, wasn't able to share it, wasn't able to post it, never even got to see it, and that's why it's one of my biggest regrets, because I have never done that before, ever, and it was, not only was it a punishment to myself for not having the content or everything, but it was a double punishment because I did feel like I didn't engage in the show as much as I wanted to. Like, I still totally was. I was singing along and all of that, but I was like, ha, the whole time, you know? So, yeah. It felt like a dream, y'all. I just remember I was like, there's no way I can't share this. Like, there's no way. Oh. Next time, just record it on your phone, and then you won't have to worry about it. Fuck Twitch for that one. I remember like protesting. I like went on X and shit. I was like, well, you can find it. That's not how technology works. Like, it's somewhere. They didn't respond. Okay, now is the time where I'm going to do my very last mobility exercise. It's the same one I always do at the end of my stream. It is the first mobility exercise that I developed. And it started off with a bunch of stretches that I wasn't very good at when I first started, because like I said, I had a very long time where I was just dealing with shit, and my body got all potatoey, right? So I moved back into stretching. Things were not looking and feeling like the way they should. So when you see me do these moves in a flow, just know that each one of these moves is a stretch, and I sat in those stretches for long periods of time in order to feel comfortable enough to move through. So if you feel like it's hard, just pause at one of the stretches at one point. Wait. You might notice that it's a certain part of the mobility exercise you're struggling with and not the whole thing. But yeah, so here we go. Ah!
doing there for a second?
Zoe wants to get her stretch on too. Alright, I'm gonna stop there. That one feels so nice on my quads. Ugh, it feels so nice on my quads. Anyway, that was Mobility Monday, everybody. I hope that you have a great start to your week. If you're watching this on a Monday, it should help. Anytime you do exercises or energy releases like stretching, it should, relieve things. If you're like really pushing yourself, like, going to the gym and lifting a bunch of weights and stuff, that part I don't know yet. So I almost feel like you're pulling things in when you do that. But when you're stretching, you're definitely releasing. So keep that in mind, everybody. This is the tribute to the Olympian that should have been. Aussie, 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 everybody. Have a good start to your week. I'll see you later.